What if 95% of your life's problems could be solved by just changing your mindset? Why do some people stay calm under pressure while others fall apart? Could ancient wisdom hold the secret to modern peace and power? Have you ever woken up one morning, gotten out of bed, and felt completely bored, tired, sluggish, indifferent? You can't understand why, because just last month you felt amazing, full of energy, and totally in control of everything. You were focused and productive, and everything seemed to be going in the right direction. But today it feels like everything has vanished in an instant, as if your drive disappeared overnight. Don't worry, this is completely normal. We all go through these ups and downs because life naturally has its moments like this. But have you ever wondered why some people can remain calm and serene even in the toughest situations? The answer is that they have found wisdom in Stoicism. A philosophy, not only for ancient Roman scholars but also a key to modern life. These principles are incredibly practical and helpful for anyone. No need to be a philosopher to apply them. In this video, you'll discover 10 deeply powerful Stoic habits, simple yet profound practices that if you apply them can help solve 95% of the problems you're facing. Not 99% or 100% because we all know that perfection is unattainable, but 95% is a highly impressive and achievable number. Comment "I'm ready" before we dive into the main content. Habit number 1. Control what is possible and accept what is impossible. Inner peace comes from many sources, and one of the most important is the ability to accept that some things in life are beyond your control, and that there's nothing you can do about them. If you can accept these events and let them pass through your life, you'll avoid unnecessary stress from worrying about the inevitable. As Marcus Aurelius, one of the famous Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote is not just a reminder, but a declaration of our power to control our reactions to events beyond our reach. When we realize that we cannot change the behavior of others or unforeseen situations but can control how we respond, we will find ourselves becoming much stronger and more serene. Recently, I experienced a series of events that challenged my ability to accept the things I couldn't change and correctly identify what was within my control and what was not. It all started quite simply. I was driving down a small street in the city hoping to find a parking spot. After a few rounds, I saw a woman struggling to carry a heavy box out of her car. She couldn't do it on her own, and I watched her struggle. Although tired from a long day, I couldn't ignore the sight. I decided to park nearby and go help her. But when I returned, I saw another man had arrived and helped her. At that moment, I felt a slight disappointment because I no longer had the chance to do the right thing I had intended. I returned to my car and began to think about the situation. At that moment, my phone rang, and I realized I had missed an important call. Had missed an opportunity I had been waiting for. I quickly called back, but now the feeling of disappointment over not being able to control the situation began to take over my mind. Had I wasted my time? Or had I ignored important things in life by focusing too much on things outside my control? This story showed me that controlling what's within our power and accepting what can't be changed is an important lesson. The event I faced wasn't a big problem, but the confusion and stress I felt when I realized I couldn't control the situation were what I needed to learn from. Stoic philosophy is not about avoiding all challenges, but about how we face them. It teaches us that when we can change something, we should do it immediately. And when we can't change something, we can only accept it and keep moving forward without being affected. Through this, I realized that true peace comes when I can separate what's outside of my control and focus on what I can do. As Stoic philosophy advises, only then can I maintain confidence and dignity in every situation. Habit number 2, practice paying attention and living in the present. Living in the present moment is the core practice of all mindfulness teachings, and it is also the essence of happiness. But what exactly is this thing we call presence? I'm not sure we all share the same answer about its meaning or even whether what we do matters. However, what's important is that we understand what presence means to us personally, in an instinctive, practical, and non-conceptual way. And perhaps we also have a sense of why we want to be in the present moment. Why it is something we want to set as an intention for our lives. When we talk about living in the present, it doesn't mean we are denying the past or the future. In fact, the past is where we learn, and the future is where we chart our dreams and goals. But living in the present means not letting the mind be swept away by things that cannot be changed from the past, nor worrying about things that have not yet happened in the future. This practice helps us maintain peace, because when you let go of the anxiety about what is past and what is yet to come, you can enjoy the present moments where everything truly happens. You might be surprised to learn that one of the great minds of our time, Elon Musk, has shared a similar philosophy. Musk, not only the founder of SpaceX and Tesla, but also someone who continually emphasizes the importance of the present in work and life, once said, I don't worry too much about the future because I focus on making today the best it can be. He believes that if we do not focus on developing and optimizing what is happening right now, we will miss the opportunity to change and improve. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote can be seen as the key that opens the door to a life of presence. Your thoughts form the foundation for your perception and actions in life. When you live in the present, you can control your thoughts, keeping them focused on what truly matters, rather than letting them be carried away by worry about the future or regret about the past. When practicing living in the present moment, you learn how to master yourself, not allowing external factors to invade your mental space. You will also realize that the most important things are not what has passed or what is to come, but how you experience each moment in the present, how you use it to grow and enhance the quality of your life. Only then can you see the opportunities waiting for you in the quiet moments of the present. So instead of letting your mind be preoccupied with endless worries about the future, start paying attention and live fully in the present moment. That's how you can resolve almost any issue in life, by simply living and acting in this very moment. Peace and happiness will come when you allow your mind and emotions to merge with what is happening around you, and you truly understand the value of the present. Now, are you ready to explore the next habit on your Stoic journey? It's the practice of virtue, one of the most powerful ways to cultivate self-discipline and develop noble qualities. But do you fully understand virtue and how it can change your life? Let's dive in and find out. Habit number 3, practice virtue. Do you perform each task to the best of your ability? Are you committed to doing what is right? These questions not only make you pause and reflect, but they also serve as reminders of the way of life that Stoic philosophers encourage us to pursue. Stoicism is not just a theory, but a daily practice demonstrated through every decision, action, and thought in life. Therefore, practicing virtue in each moment is the key to leading a prosperous and meaningful life. Stoic philosophers believe that virtue is not an abstract concept, but a practical action in everyday life. Virtue encompasses 4 main qualities: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Every action in life should be reflected through the lens of these principles. That is why Stoicism advises you not to think of virtue as an ideal, but to practice it daily in the smallest and most frequent situations. A prominent example of living by virtue is Mahatma Gandhi. He was not only a great leader, but also a living model of steadfastness and moral principles. Throughout his life, Gandhi never resorted to violence to resolve conflict. Instead, he pursued the path of peace and justice through methods like nonviolent resistance. It was thanks to his persistence and loyalty to these values that Gandhi helped India achieve independence peacefully. Gandhi's story is a clear example that when we commit to virtue even in the toughest circumstances, we can create lasting and powerful change. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This quote emphasizes that wealth does not come from owning many material possessions, but from the ability to control and temper our desires. In life, we are often drawn to material needs or boundless ambitions, but according to Stoicism, the practice of virtue begins with understanding that true happiness does not come from what we have, but from what we learn to let go of. This is temperance, one of the key virtues in Stoicism. Ask yourself, can you live more virtuously every day in every action and word? Virtue is not something that can only be practiced during special moments, but in every moment of life. If you start with small things such as handling difficult situations with wisdom, justice, and courage, you will find that a virtuous life is not just a distant ideal, but a reality that can be achieved. So, what do you think about practicing virtue in everyday life? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Habit number 4, contemplating death. How do you feel about the idea of death? Is it something you think about often, or does it make you feel anxious? These are questions many of us have been pondering lately. The pandemic has reminded us that death is always close, and it is something we will eventually face. If sex was the taboo of the 19th century, death is the taboo of the modern era. Most of us are taught that death is something we should avoid thinking about and try to forget. According to traditional advice, if we start contemplating our own death, we will become anxious, depressed, and fearful of the future. However, in Stoic philosophy, contemplating death is not an act of fear, but a path to living a more meaningful and purposeful life. Stoic philosophy, especially the concept of memento mori, remember that you will die, invites us to reflect on the brevity of life. Unlike increasing fear, this reminder promotes urgency and clarity in how we choose to live. Knowing we will die does not make us afraid. It compels us to focus on what truly matters. It is not death that frightens us, but the idea of wasting time on things that are not important. When we acknowledge that life is short, we are encouraged to live with purpose, not letting time slip by aimlessly. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often spoke of death in his writings, encouraging us to accept the inevitable with tranquility. He is famous for saying, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This quote reminds us that death is not a surprise but a certainty. What shortens our lives is not the passage of time, but how we fail to make the most of it. The true tragedy is not that we die, but that we live as if we will never face death. Contemplating death forces us to confront the transience of life. It makes us think about whether we are living in alignment with our values or merely drifting through life. Every moment becomes more precious when we realize that time is a finite resource. Death is not a reason to avoid life but a motivation to make each day more meaningful. By accepting death as an unavoidable companion, we are encouraged to live fully, act decisively, and prioritize what truly matters. Imagine standing on a cliff gazing out at the vast horizon. Knowing you could fall at any moment does not scare you. It enhances the beauty of the scene. Similarly, awareness of death does not take away the joy of life. It deepens that joy. It compels us to ask ourselves, if today were the last day of my life, would I be satisfied with how I have lived? Would I be proud of the choices I've made and the person I have become? The Stoic practice of contemplating death is an invitation to live authentically. It is a call to let go of distractions, focus on self-growth, and pursue what brings true fulfillment. Accepting death is not about fear. It is about living with the awareness that our time is limited. And it is this that makes our lives meaningful. So memento mori, remember that you will die, and let that thought inspire you to live fully and with purpose. Leave a memento mori comment below if you are ready to face death and live fully. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Habit number 5. Develop emotional strength. Emotions are the greatest driving force behind every action. They can lead us in any direction, even the wrong one. We've all witnessed times when emotions guided impulsive decisions leading to regrettable mistakes. But when we learn to understand and control our emotions, we can turn them into a powerful force, helping us face challenges with calmness, clarity, and strength. Emotional strength is not about suppressing or denying emotions, but about understanding and steering them in a way that benefits us. Those with true mental strength are not those who never face difficulties or feel weak. On the contrary, they are the ones who know how to face and master their emotions even when confronted with major challenges. For example, a regular person might get angry when criticized, letting negative emotions take over and ruin relationships. But someone practicing Stoicism, who understands that criticism is not a personal attack but an opportunity to learn and improve, will remain calm, handling the situation with wisdom and reason. This doesn't mean they don't feel emotions like anger or frustration, but rather that they can control them and not let those emotions dictate their actions. One of the famous quotes by Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius is, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This quote points out that we cannot control external circumstances, but we can control how we respond to them. When we realize that events cannot be changed but our emotions and actions are within our control, we will feel freer and stronger in facing every challenge. Imagine you're in an important meeting. Everyone around you seems tense, and a colleague suddenly criticizes a decision you've made. In this situation, negative emotions may immediately rise, making you want to react quickly to defend yourself. However, instead of acting on emotion, you pause for a moment, acknowledge your feelings, and choose not to react impulsively. You can speak calmly and rationally, view the issue fairly, and use this opportunity to clarify your perspective. This is the power of emotional control. You can manage your response rather than letting emotions dictate your every action. Developing emotional strength not only helps you face difficult situations, but also helps you maintain composure in crucial moments of life. When you learn to control your emotions, you become stronger and able to face any challenge life throws at you without being shaken. This not only builds confidence but also helps you maintain good relationships, understand those around you, and most importantly, preserve self-respect. Now, if you think you're ready to enter a new phase of growth, I'd like you to try something interesting. Think about how gratitude can help you develop mental strength. Have you ever thought that appreciating the small things in life could be a big step toward emotional stability? This is the next habit we will explore, and you'll be surprised at what gratitude can do for you. The upcoming tips will help you break through in life. Stay with us because we are just getting started. Habit number 6, count on gratitude. Gratitude has a magical power in changing our perspective on life. Instead of focusing solely on deficiencies, difficulties, or imperfections, gratitude forces us to stop, reflect, and appreciate the good things that are already present. This feeling is not merely acknowledgement. It is a source of positive energy helping us build a more optimistic and happier view of life. The truth is, when you choose to look at everything through the lens of gratitude, the quality of those thoughts not only improves your mood, but also brings about profound changes in the way you perceive the world around you. Blake McCoskey, the founder of Tom's Shoes, faced many challenges in building his brand. When he started, he had no significant investment and had to compete in the crowded footwear market. Despite this, Blake maintained the habit of writing down things he was grateful for every day. For him, this wasn't just a method to maintain his spirits, but also a way to see life from a more positive perspective. Each morning, Blake would record in his journal even the smallest victories, like having a successful meeting or simply enjoying a beautiful morning. He also noted simple moments like the support from his team or encouraging messages from customers. This habit helped him realize that no matter how difficult the circumstances were, there were always good things to appreciate. With persistence and the optimistic spirit nurtured by this habit, Tom's became not only a globally recognized shoe brand but also built a strong image for bringing positive change to the community. Blake's story is proof that a grateful mindset can create an immense power to overcome challenges and achieve success. By applying the habit of gratitude to our lives, we not only cultivate a positive mindset, but also nurture patience and the ability to overcome difficulties. Gratitude helps us feel happier and makes us calmer and more insightful in stressful situations. When we can find reasons to be thankful even during difficult times, that is when we have truly mastered our emotions. Thus, gratitude is not just a habit. It is a powerful method that helps us maintain inner peace and realize that life is truly worth living. Happiness is not a destination. It is a state we choose to maintain each day through small yet incredibly powerful thoughts and actions. Habit number 7. Keep it simple. Think about the number of choices you make in a day. Surely there are countless decisions happening throughout your day. From the trivial, what should I have for breakfast, to the more important, should I continue this relationship? You're faced with one choice after another. It can be exhausting. With so much going on in every area of life, you might feel the need to simplify. While this might seem like an easy task, knowing how and where to scale down can be a challenge. Today, we'll share an important Stoic habit that helps you reduce stress in life. Keep things simple. When you reduce complexity and focus only on what truly matters, you'll be able to live a simpler, happier life. The Stoic philosophy has long encouraged simplifying life to achieve tranquility. One of the famous quotes from Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, is, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." This quote emphasizes that the more we focus on things beyond our control, the less control we have in life. Therefore, reducing the elements outside of our control and focusing only on what is important will give us true freedom. When we talk about simplifying, the first thing to mention is eliminating what is unnecessary. We can start with the smallest habits in our daily lives. A prime example might be Marie Kondo's KonMari cleaning method, which encourages people to keep only items that truly have value or bring joy. Removing unnecessary things not only helps to declutter our living space, but also creates a sense of lightness and clarity for the mind. This approach can help you avoid clutter not just in your living space, but also in your mind, allowing you to find peace. We often complicate our lives by paying too much attention to unimportant things. While having many choices is inevitable, we can decide not to let these choices dominate our lives. Surely when you start practicing the habit of keeping things simple, you'll notice a clear change in how you feel. You'll feel less stressed and every decision, big or small, will become easier. More importantly, you'll realize that what truly matters in life isn't complexity or things beyond your control, but what you choose to focus on. So can you imagine a life that's simple, no longer dominated by tiring decisions or clutter? Start today and feel the lightness that this habit brings. And if you're ready to simplify your life even more, don't miss the next habit on the list. Practice self-discipline. A powerful Stoic habit that helps you stay focused and determined regardless of distractions and temptations in life. Practicing self-discipline not only brings long-term benefits, but also helps you control and optimize every moment in life. Let's explore how to apply this habit in the next section. Habit number 8. Practice self-discipline. Every day we face countless distractions, challenges in focusing, and temptations waiting to pull us away from our goals. Have you ever felt like you couldn't stick to the decisions you've made, even if it's something as simple as finishing your homework or following a long-term plan? Especially when faced with challenges, we can easily get caught in the cycle of procrastination and lack of self-control. Whether you're trying to study for a test, lose weight, quit bad habits, or achieve a significant future goal, willpower and self-discipline will be the determining factors in that journey. So, why do some people persist better than others? What's their secret? And how can you learn to develop self-discipline to achieve success in life? The answer lies in a fundamental, yet incredibly powerful concept: self-discipline. Self-discipline is not the ability to avoid temptations or immediately restrain yourself. It is a process of building inner strength through each small decision, each steady step on the long road ahead. It is self-discipline that helps us maintain our goals, stay determined, and act according to our values even when faced with massive challenges or temptations. Self-discipline is the quality that helps you overcome laziness and procrastination to accomplish what matters. Take a look at basketball legend Michael Jordan. He wasn't just known for his natural talent, but also as a symbol of extraordinary self-discipline. Throughout his career, Jordan set clear goals for himself and persistently pursued them despite difficulties and setbacks. One of the most iconic examples is how he often practiced tirelessly, even when he had already reached the peak of his career. He knew that success doesn't come from innate talent, but from persistence and discipline in every single practice. Jordan may have had exceptional abilities, but it was his discipline in improving himself and pursuing his goals relentlessly that was the key factor in overcoming challenges and becoming a legend. He understood that each hour of practice was an opportunity to get closer to perfection, and it was this self-discipline that would take him from one success to another. Self-discipline isn't just about working hard, it's about persistence, determination, and never giving up. Your daily habits are the roots of success. When you focus on action rather than waiting for perfection or ease, you are creating a difference. No matter what your goals are, from building a career to personal development or changing your lifestyle habits, self-discipline is the key. It's a skill that can be developed over time, and only when you commit to maintaining discipline can you truly progress. So, leave a comment. I practice self-discipline below this video as a commitment to yourself. Habit number 9. Accept the possibility of recovery. When life presents challenges, one of the key factors that help us overcome them is not the successes we achieve, but our ability to bounce back. This ability, also known as resilience, is not just perseverance. It is the inner strength to rise after every fall. Resilience is the quality that makes the difference between those who are constantly knocked down and those who can keep moving forward despite all difficulties. In Stoic philosophy, this is clearly expressed through Marcus Aurelius' view, who taught difficulties are not what we must avoid, but opportunities to challenge ourselves. Resilience doesn't only come from overcoming major failures in work or life, but also from the smaller daily challenges. In fact, resilience is shaped through each challenge, whether it's a broken relationship, a wrong decision, or a personal failure. A person who has experienced pain and loss, whether it's a painful breakup or failure to achieve an important goal, may initially feel overwhelmed by the sense of loss like a shadow surrounding them, and they might feel as if the world is collapsing. But at that moment, an important question must be asked. Can I bounce back? If the answer is yes, that's when they begin to learn how to rise from the pain, reflect on themselves, and find opportunities for growth, no matter the circumstance. One prominent example of resilience is the story of legendary football player, Alex Smith. In 2018, Smith suffered a severe injury when he broke his leg during a game requiring complex surgery and a lengthy recovery process. It seemed like his career was over, but Smith didn't give up. Instead of sinking into despair, he spent an entire year recovering physically and mentally. He did recovery exercises every day with perseverance and determination. And when he returned, not only did he get back on the field, but he also had an impressive season. In 2020, Smith returned to the field, leading the Washington football team into the playoffs after a challenging season. Smith's story is not just about sports. It is about the strength of will and the ability to recover after major life challenges. Resilience is not something easily acquired, but it can certainly be learned and cultivated over time. The key is accepting that difficulties are an inseparable part of life, and each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen our inner self. In fact, when we face failure, we not only learn how to rise but also learn to reassess ourselves, improve our self-control, and gain a clearer understanding of what we truly want to achieve. And now we come to the final habit in the series of Stoic habits that address 95% of life's problems: purposeful action. This habit will open a new door where you are not just a survivor, but a person who grows from the very challenges life brings. Are you ready to embrace the difficulties and step forward stronger than ever? Habit number 10. Act with purpose. In all modern life filled with distractions and noise, living with purpose is not just simple advice, but one of the key factors determining an individual's success and happiness. Acting with a clear purpose not only helps us have a definite direction, but also provides the motivation to take specific actions every day. When you know the goal you want to achieve, every effort becomes meaningful and each step becomes part of a greater journey. Since I was very young, I met a man named Edward who taught me a valuable lesson about the power of purposeful action. Edward had an ordinary appearance, but it was his decisiveness and clear purpose in his actions that impressed me. During a meeting, a situation arose where everyone in the room was discussing an important issue the company needed to address. One person in the group tried to stir up a debate, but Edward, instead of engaging in that confrontation, simply sat quietly and listened. In a brief moment, all eyes turned to him. The room fell silent. At that moment, Edward stood up and said, a short but powerful sentence. "We have a goal and we will not be distracted by debates that lead nowhere." His words were a reminder of the power of focus and purposeful action. Everyone in the room suddenly became quiet, and the meeting proceeded in the right direction, resolving the issue without straying from the original goal. Edward's story is a clear demonstration of how purposeful action helps us maintain self-respect and emotional control. When we have a clear purpose, conflicts, disagreements, or distractions cannot shake our determination. Instead, we are able to view every situation from a different perspective, which not only helps us act effectively, but also maintain calmness and self-respect in all circumstances. Living with purpose allows us to make the most of our time and energy. Instead of living randomly and without direction, every action we take becomes a meaningful step toward a specific result. This not only boosts our work performance, but also helps us live with depth, take control of our lives, and always feel that each day is an opportunity to get closer to the goals we have set. Imagine waking up one day not because you feel compelled to work, but because you know that everything you do today will bring you one step closer to your life's greater goal. Every action, even the smallest, becomes an essential part of your long journey. You no longer feel swept away by situations beyond your control, but instead you take charge of what happens because you have a clear purpose. Living with purpose is the greatest choice anyone can make to take control of their life. When you act with purpose, you not only control yourself but also shape the final outcome. You are not swept away by trivial matters, and every step you take has value and a specific goal. Therefore, always remember that living with purpose is not an easy choice, but it is the key to unlocking the doors of success and happiness in life. Let each of your actions be a firm step toward achieving what you desire. We have just explored 10 Stoic habits that can solve up to 95% of life's problems. From controlling emotions and maintaining calm, to developing self-respect and composure in any situation. These habits not only help you live a happier and freer life, but also build inner strength and dignity to overcome all challenges. Remember, these small changes can lead to great results if you practice them consistently every day. So what do you think about these Stoic habits? How have you applied them in your life? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, share it with anyone you think could benefit from these tips, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on future valuable videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos.